What's up, YouTube? This is Mikey C here again, and today I'm giving you my first 2020 NFL mock draft. Before I get into it, if you're not subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe. Give me a like, leave some comments, let me know what you think. Now, rules for this one: no trades in this first mock draft that I'm doing here today. I'm only going to do the first round, and my picks are going to be based on team needs given by the Fanspeak website. So, let's get it started. And I'm going to give it to you by 8 picks at a time. So first through 8, and then 9 through 16, and so on. So my first pick, Cincinnati, Joe Burrow, quarterback, LSU. Hands down, most likely going to be the pick. Is it going to be Cincinnati, though? We'll see. I'm hearing a lot of rumors that there's going to be some trade ups and down. There could be as possible as 4 quarterbacks drafted in the first 7, which it's not crazy because as you can see, I have 3. People talking about Jordan Love coming into the mix as well, but I'm not doing any trades, as I said. So with mine, as we stand, Joe Burrow, Cincinnati, they need a better quarterback, better play, and what Joe Burrow did this past season at LSU, rightfully so, deserves to be the number 1 pick in this year's draft. Coming in number 2 overall, Washington Redskins select Chase Young, edge, Ohio State. To me, best college football player actually in the nation. He's set the world on fire. Could have gotten the sack record if it weren't for a dumb suspension. But Chase Young will give Washington and team up with a Montez Sweat, and team them 2 up, and they could be wrecking havoc on quarterbacks for the next 5 to 6 years, even a decade if they earn a second contract. At number 3, I have the Lions selecting Isaiah Simmons, linebacker / safety / whatever you need him to do out of Clemson. Guy put on an incredible combine, about as good as they expected. Set some marks. You just put him on the field and let him do his thing. Detroit, Matt Patricia is the head coach, getting a Swiss Army knife type player like this on your defense can really set the tone. I could also see them going quarterback here, but in this draft, Isaiah Simmons to the Lions at number 3. Next up, 4th pick, New York Giants, Tristan Wirfs, tackle guard out of Iowa. Previous drafts, I probably would have seen Simmons going here, but I think he shoots up, and now the Giants are left with protecting their investment from last year in Daniel Jones. Tristan Wirfs had one of the best combines. He turned some heads. We already know he was a good player, but his numbers just proved how good of a player he can be. And he may start out as the right tackle in the beginning, but he could be a franchise left tackle in the near future. Next up, Miami. Surprise here. I got Justin Herbert, quarterback, Oregon. Everybody thinks it's Tua is the second best quarterback, but I believe it's Justin Herbert. So Miami Dolphins are going to definitely have to take quarterback in this draft, and might as well get one early. Justin Herbert had a great Senior Bowl. His combine wasn't that bad either. He's got the size. If you get the right toolage, he can sit behind Fitzpatrick for a year. Or he could come in halfway through the year. But the Dolphins will get a heck of a quarterback here, and Justin Herbert 5th overall. 6th pick, the Los Angeles Chargers will take Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback at Alabama. If it weren't for his injuries, we'd be talking about him being number 1 overall. But just for that fact alone, he slips, and I actually have him falling to number 6. The Chargers do have Tyrod Taylor now that Phil Rivers has decided to move on. And Tyrod Taylor is a good quarterback, but he could also be a great bridge quarterback for a year. Take Tua here, let him sit, get fully healthy, and by 2021, you have your quarterback for the future. And Tua's definitely got all the traits and the skills to be a number 1 Pro Bowl quarterback. And number 7, I got the Carolina Panthers taking Derek Brown, defensive lineman at Auburn. He could have came out last year and been a top 10 pick. The guy is very disruptive on the interior. Can get to the quarterback. He can collapse the pocket. He's going to be a great fit for Carolina. The team may be losing Cam Newton. We don't know yet, and that could be a Jordan Love pick here. But as it stands today, I see the Carolina Panthers getting Derek Brown, a great defensive player, arguably the number one interior lineman between him and Javon Kinlaw. At number 8, I got the Arizona Cardinals taking Kyler Murray's old teammate and CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver from Oklahoma. This could have been a pick for a tackle, a Mekhi Becton or Andrew Thomas. They definitely need some help on the O-line, but they're actually had a better O-line grouping this past year than years past. And their wide receivers, they took 3 last year, and none of them really had a solid season, and with one being injured all year. So getting someone that is familiar with the system, with Coach Cliff's system, the quarterback, the two of them can really set up, light the NFL on fire this year in 2020. So Arizona Cardinals selecting CeeDee Lamb with 8th overall pick is my choice here. And next up, Jacksonville Jaguars. They lost Jalen Ramsey via trade, so they replaced him with the best defensive back in the draft, in Jeffrey Okudah, defensive back, Ohio State. He had a bad fall at the combine, which made him have to stop doing all the drills. But I have a feeling he'll check out. I don't think he's going to be in concussion protocol. But the guy is definitely a Marshawn Lattimore type cornerback, another fellow Ohio State cornerback. He's going to be a stud. He's going to be a lockdown corner. He'll line up against anybody. It could be in the slot or on the outside. But Jacksonville's going to get a steal, I think, because Okudah could have been 3rd overall to Detroit. And as he is in most mock drafts, with him falling to number 9, Jaguars won't lose anything after getting rid of Ramsey. Next up, the Browns at 10. Take Mekhi Becton, tackle, Louisville. Mountain of a man, 6'8". I believe he's got 356 pounds. But his agility to be able to run what he did, I think he ran a 5'1" 40 at 350 something pounds. That's ridiculous to be able to move like that at his size. There's been talk of him moving inside the guard, but anywhere Cleveland puts him, he'll be an upgrade because their offensive line was horrible. Can't blame it all on Baker Mayfield, but they definitely need some help protecting him. And Mekhi Becton will be a nice plug in from the day one. Jets at 11 get the second best receiver in this class in my mind, and Jerry Jeudy, Alabama. Got a great route tree, good speed, great hands. He's tough, he's durable, and he's going to be the best wide receiver that the New York Jets have had in a long time. At 12, the Las Vegas Raiders take Javon Kinlaw, defensive lineman out of South Carolina. Guy is a freak specimen, great size. He's all, I can't imagine what his percentage of fat is because he's all muscle at his size, and he's someone that can definitely move the line, get to the collapse the pocket. You line him up next to Maurice Hurst, and that interior line, that whole D-line now for the Raiders looks very scary. At 13, the Colts take their heir apparent in Jordan Love, quarterback at Utah State. People keep talking about him as the next Patrick Mahomes. I still don't see that yet. But after his very strong combine, he's definitely solidified himself in the top half of the draft now. And I don't see him falling past the Indianapolis Colts if they do stand at 13 and take him. 14, another team that would like to get Jordan Love. Instead, Tampa Bay Bucks will take Jedrick Wills, tackle out of Alabama. They need O-line help if they still do decide to keep Winston after his eye surgery. Maybe that's going to be the answer to him. Maybe he won't put up the 50 interceptions. I know it wasn't 50, but 30 interceptions in one season. That's ridiculous. I think they are going to give him one more chance, and starting with a solid offensive line prospect to keep him upright is a good start. At 15, the fastest man at the combine, Denver Broncos select Henry Ruggs out of Alabama, wide receiver, ran a 4.27 40. .05 off the record. John Ross, a couple years back from Washington. You line him and Cortland Sutton, and whoever the quarterback's going to be, which it looks like it's going to be Drew Lock, is going to be salivating over the potential of D-backs trying to guard two great wide receivers. It's going to be a pick your poison type, and Henry Ruggs has a chance to take the top off the defense. And I see Sutton benefiting greatly from it next year. Atlanta at 16, K'Lavon Chaisson, edge linebacker at LSU. He had an inconsistent but strong season. LSU, of course, a national championship. He had a ridiculously great national championship game, as did all the other LSU players. Atlanta is in dire need of some edge help, and Chaisson certainly fits the mold, and I see him landing here with the Falcons at 16. At 17, Dallas Cowboys take Xavier McKinney, safety out of Alabama. They're most likely going to lose Byron Jones, so they need to find somebody real quick. I know they have a lot of pressing needs, and they also have to figure out the Dak Prescott situation, but drafting a quarterback in the first round is not what they need to do. Getting a talent like Xavier McKinney is the route they need to go. 18, Miami takes Andrew Thomas, tackle guard out of Georgia, to protect their investment in Justin Herbert. He was once talked as a top 5 player, and he's still a great player, and it just shows that how deep this draft is to be able to get an Andrew Thomas at the 18th pick. Miami will run to the podium with this pick, because if he's there at 18, Miami has solidified a solid spot on the offensive line for years to come. Next up at 19, the Raiders go back to defense, take Christian Fulton, defensive back, LSU. Great cover corner, puts pressure. Another position that's pretty deep, but not as deep as O-line or wide receiver. But Christian Fulton is one of the top tier defensive backs in this draft, and the Raiders could use some help on the outside. And they are making a very scary defense overall with the past 2 drafts, and Fulton will be a key piece to that. Next up, the Jacksonville Jaguars take Patrick Queen, linebacker, LSU. Had a very solid season. Was not expecting to be coming out of the draft into the draft this year, but he submitted his name, and he moved up the ranks very quickly. And I have him here, filling a void for Jacksonville at 20. And now Jacksonville has taken care of the slot position or cornerback position with Okudah, and now have Queen at linebacker, solidifying their defense. At 21, Philly needs wide receiver help big time, and with the 21st pick, they can take T. Higgins out of Clemson. Guy has massively long arms, wingspan of, I believe it was like 80 inches. Guy can, if you heard of my wide receiver ranking video, I jokingly said he could probably scratch his kneecaps standing up, and that says a lot. He did have arguably the best quarterback in the nation last year throwing to him, but at his size at 6'4", he will be a very nice target for Carson Wentz in Philly. At 22, Buffalo gets a steal here, a guy that was arguably a top 5, 6, 7 pick before all these players, just loads of talent. AJ Apencia, edge, Iowa. Buffalo doesn't dire need edge help. They could go another route here, but you can't let a player of his caliber fall much farther, and now Buffalo will definitely be making themselves a strong case to be the winner of the AFC East next season. 23, New England, surprise here, because I do not see Tom Brady being with New England. I think they scramble and go get with the best quarterback they can get, and that'd be Jacob Eason at this point out of Washington. He's a solid quarterback, got a great arm, and he is someone that could honestly fit into this system very easily. He's no Tom Brady by no means. There may never be another one like that, but Jacob Eason will be a solid quarterback if he were to fall and work into the system and be a day one starter for New England in 2020. At 24, New Orleans, Laviska Shenault, wide receiver, Colorado. He is definitely a player, ball player. Just put the ball in his hands. Reminds me of Anquan Boldin. They need the Saints need someone to take some pressure off of Mike Thomas. He's putting up ridiculous numbers, and he'll continue to do that whether it's Laviska or somebody else on the other side of him. But having somebody like Shonal lining up with Thomas makes the Saints, that's already a scary offense, even that much more scarier. At 25, Minnesota, C.J. Henderson, defensive back, Florida. He was a late bloomer to me. I didn't see him earlier on in some mock drafts that I did in my mind being this high up. But he's also a solid defensive back. Had a great season with Florida, although Florida didn't have a very good season. And Minnesota likes to grab defensive backs, and this year they're going to need it because I believe Xavier Rhodes is going to be gone, and they may be losing one or two others. So Minnesota would take C.J. Anderson here at 25. 26, Miami gets another player that fell. Yetur Gross-Matos, edge linebacker at Penn State. I can't say it enough. There's just so much talent in this draft, and Miami, with these 3 picks, have just now made their future look very bright, and they have so many more picks in this draft, and they can just keep adding and adding. Whoever the quarterback of the future may be, if it is Hebert or Tua or Tom Brady, another place that I'm hearing for him to land. But the future of Miami looks great if they can just keep these players on the contract and just have some kind of continuity going on with them. At 27, Seattle, Josh Jones, tackle, Houston. They definitely need some offensive line help. Russell Wilson doesn't need too much O-line help in front of him because he's just a magician back there, but this fills a huge void. They are going to be looking at possibly defensive line as well. Not sure what's going to happen with Clowney, but getting Josh Jones here for Seattle 27, solid pick. 28, Baltimore, Marlon Davidson, defensive line, edge, Auburn. You can put him anywhere along that front 4, front 3, whatever Baltimore is playing. He can wreak havoc all over that line. And Baltimore definitely needs somebody to get to the opposing team's quarterback. That is one area they severely lacked in last year, and having a player like Davidson can, if he's not getting to the quarterback, will open up some holes for somebody else to get to them. 29, the surprise of the playoffs last year, Tennessee picks up Neville Gallimore, defensive lineman from Oklahoma. This guy ran a ridiculous 40 as well at his size, and he solidified himself in my mind as a first-round pick. Where he goes, I'm not sure, but I see him coming into Tennessee and lining up with Jeffrey Simmons, a guy that they picked up last year from Mississippi State and who missed a lot of time due to an ACL tear. Having these 2 guys on the line and for the future can be very scary for Tennessee. I don't know who's going to be their quarterback for the long run, but as long as they have Derrick Henry there too, Tennessee will be challenging Houston for years to come for the AFC South title. 30, Green Bay, Justin Jefferson, wide receiver, LSU. Green Bay needs wide receiver help, and I would not be surprised if they draft more than one this year. Justin Jefferson had a great season for LSU. As I've said before, all the players on that team did, and it culminated into them winning a championship. But Justin Jefferson would be a great get here for Green Bay at 30. 31, San Francisco, Grant Delpit, safety, LSU. He falls in my draft due to tackling concerns, and I've read some quotes that he's tried to still solidify himself as a short tackler. But San Francisco will not let him go past this. He's not a big need for them, but San Francisco just wants the best player available, and at this point, Grant Delpit is and can come in from day one and be a solid presence on that defense. And the last pick of the first round, 32nd overall, to the Super Bowl champions, Kansas City Chiefs, DeAndre Swift, running back, Georgia. He is arguably the best running back in the nation last year. You have J.K. Dobbins, you have Jonathan Taylor. But I think when it comes to NFL, I think DeAndre Swift is going to have a better career at all of them. And he fits with KC perfectly. They don't really need a true number one running back, by having a weapon like him just makes that offense that much more scarier. And that's it for my first 2020 NFL mock draft. I appreciate everybody for watching. I do have tight end rankings coming out this Wednesday, and I hope you guys liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Until next time, guys, keep it real.